r/ask Reddit what makes you really cringe? The time I thought I was being mature about sexuality and kept trying to tell my friends that they shouldn't be afraid of masturbation, that everyone does it, and girls do it too. Hey everyone, let's all tell our masturbation stories. I was 13 at the time. Oh god, and now I remember the time I somehow managed to bring using saliva as lube for masturbating during a fucking conversation. Why did you make me remember all this? Please end me like I ended my social status in school. Don't worry, some of my classmates in middle school would hide under a table and fap together during recess. That's way worse in my book. When I did that, I have a boyfriend, he just goes to a different school thing. As an adult with a real girlfriend in another country, I feel like a high school fraud when I bring it up. Extreme self-delusion. Usually it's funny enough to make up for it, but sometimes it's just so sad to see somebody who can't accept reality. Amber Lynn on YouTube. She's about 600 pounds. Has been trying to lose weight for 4 years online. She recently said instead of 2 sandwiches, I had 4 half sandwiches. The delusion is strong. I just watched an anime where they're in high school and one of the kids still pretends he's like a ninja assassin or something and it makes the others cringe. I love that that's a thing in Japan too. Shit, were you watching Saki K? Yes. Along those lines, some people think that the average Japanese young adult college kid is obsessively into video games, anime, manga, mechas, figurines, and, you know, that obscure Japanese band music that was in the intro to some shitty ass anime series that got popular in the US. I'm not saying that people aren't into these things, but there are a lot more folks there who cringe at weebs and otaku. My Japanese friends back in college always laughed at how some of the Japanophiles get obsessed with some music, shows, and manga only because of its origin. Would they watch this particular anime manga if it was not Japanese, or do they like it because it's Japanese? As someone who used to be in otaku circles, that's very fucking real, LMAO. I know people who believe that they are straight up anime characters. In Japan, they call it middle school syndrome if I recall correctly, but the ones I know are pushing 30 and still holding on to that. People who post vague status updates on social media, such as the most horrible thing just happened to me, without providing any context. It's a cheap way for people to fish for attention, and it creates unnecessary worry for the people who care about them. Just got back from the emergency room. Bonus points if they post a picture of the hospital bracelet. High school was true painful cringe. I told a French exchange student that I loved him in French and he just walked away. I die every time I think about it. A friend of mine told a girl I liked that I liked her while she was in front of me, so I ran away. I was a senior. She tried to talk to me 4 different times after that. Every time she did, I fucking ran away. Not so much an interaction, but I took my senior year school photo as a joke and thought I would be super goofy looking. I had long hair, I'm a guy BTW, and pulled it into a weird top pony and flared it out. I kept looking behind me at the line for some kind of approval and the photographer even asked me 3 times if this is what I really wanted. Now I have to live with that for the rest of my life when I pull out the yearbook. Edit. For all of you asking for the pic, here you go. I graduated 2015. My first goals. Thank you so much, kind strangers. You are all making these dark times a little lighter right now. When people make a joke but nobody laughs and it's just quiet, I can occasionally be funny, but I must have a weird, too subtle delivery, because there's usually a couple seconds of delay before my friendscoukers laugh and I'm just now processing what you said and hey that's hilarious kind of way. But for those few seconds when I think it missed, my soul shrivels up a bit. Any story about someone having a birthday party and no one shows up? It happened to my little brother when we were kids and I've been scarred from it since. People dying, abuse, grief, or etc does not elicit the same emotional upset I get when I hear those kind of birthday stories. Edit. Why are you all responding with stories that devastate me, man? Fuck you all. Edit 2. All of you are upsetting me, fuck this. Oh my god. I had my 9th birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese and I invited my entire 3rd grade class, around 30 kids, no one shows, so I'm just sitting at this big ass table alone with some family members. When I realized no one was coming I just started sobbing. I must have looked downright pitiful crying in my party hat, surrounded by empty chairs set up for other kids, because the staff ended up giving me a shit ton of tokens to play with. I don't remember the rest of the day, but I did get a Wii and I won a bunch of prizes so I think it turned out okay. In a drama performance, I had to blow a kiss into the crowd and accidentally did it to a teacher by accident, and following up I did the call me hand gestures. No man, that's a fucking power move. You're already on a sinking ship, you might as well double down and search for Atlantis on the way. Public proposals. Videos of people at sporting events eating their boogers. Horny dudes trying to get a woman's attention while she's shopping or at work. Women who act drunk after 2 beers for attention. My co-worker who told me her last boyfriend told her that her vagina feels like fucking a bowl of macaroni. What? Macaroni? I'm gonna fuck a bowl of macaroni now. Faking cancer on r/teenagers for some karma. What a fucking cesspool of a subreddit. I wholly agree. As a teenager, I can safely say that any group of teenagers larger than about 6 is a bad fucking idea. When people intentionally put themselves in situations, good or bad, and then turn around and act as if their life is totally spontaneous and shit just happens to them. I have a friend like this and have watched him plan a whole scenario in his head and then executes it. He then turns around and acts like it was the element of surprise. Hopefully what I'm saying makes sense because nothing makes my eyes roll harder than this bullshit. My first kiss. I was really inexperienced and told her beforehand. I asked her to just do a little lip peck because I had no clue how the whole tongue kissing worked. She went for a full-blown kiss, and I had my teeth together. Her tongue looking for a way into my mouth but ultimately ending up just going up my teeth as a feeling that I will never forget. Just writing this out, I'm sweating and shivering at how fucking retarded that was. This type of stuff. A girl who I had just started going out with, literally that day, invited me to have dinner with her and her family that evening. I had had a crush on her for some time and felt obligated to say yes. I didn't want to let her down. She was stoked on the idea. I said yeah, and I asked her if she was sure it was okay. I wanted her to call them and at least ask first. She sounded so sure when she said, "No, it's fine. They won't mind." They minded. The moment we walked in her dad said, "Where the fuck have you been?" Her mom was also yelling. It was fucking chaos. WHO, the fuck is this guy? How many times do I have to tell you? Fuck you dad like you fucking care. It was madness. Pure madness for about 45 minutes. I'm surprised the cops didn't get called. The dad started breaking shit, throwing things. She started attacking her dad. They started fighting. The mom was screaming and crying. Their dogs were going ape shit. I was fucking stunned. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to bail but I just stood there. After a while things calmed down and my new girlfriend of not even a full day came over to me and apologized. She's like, "It's okay. Sorry." Then her parents apologized and said if I'd like to stay for dinner it's fine. Talk about cringe. Just imagine sitting at the dinner table after all that. Her dad was my ride home as well. Fuck's sakes. When people base their entire personality off of something, like weed, for example. People that get tattoos of marijuana leaves or constantly brag about smoking and getting high. I wouldn't consider myself a stoner but I'm by no means a lightweight. But I just can't understand people that make their whole life weed and weed culture. Is it addiction? No sense of purpose? Lack of self-identity? One time, around 1998, I was a senior in college. I had been at an all-day keg party and had overdone things at maybe 1 PM already. I was standing alone in a driveway at that moment. A couple girls I knew were walking down an adjacent street. One yelled, "Hey, what are you up to?" Drunk 22-year-old me yells back, "Not much. Just getting giggy with it." Instant cringe falls over me as they stop walking. Look at each other like, did he really say that? They didn't respond and walked away. I still feel uncomfortable about that and I'm in my 40s.